Hi guys, Michael from MMA Island here with a lot of MMA Island people here, and we have a new show going on. We have the people, we have the ideas, we don't have the name. We're leaving it to you guys to come up with the name. I want to get right into introducing these people. Atticus is here. Atticus, introduce
What's
yourself.
up, guys? Atticus, aka Attiking here. Just joined the MMA Island team about a week ago. I'm loving it so far, and yeah, I'm excited to get this little podcast going.
All right, moving on to Chris.
My name's Chris. Starts with a C, ends with an S. But yeah, I'm the founder of MMA Island. I love it here. Sunsets are beautiful. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
And I'm Michael. I kind of focus on mostly interviews. I have headline.island where I post speedy news. And I'm also going to be opening up a Twitter. I also run UFC.calculator. I kind of just focus on the logistics of actual MMA type stuff. So moving on to Slick Diaz, the one and only.
Yep, that was Speedy Gonzalez. I'm Slick Diaz. I run Octagon Island. It's my island sanctuary that was so graciously gifted to me after the spoils of war weren't in my favor. Yeah, so I run Octagon Island for MMA Island, and I run Octagon Jones on YouTube and Twitter and my podcast too. Slick Diaz Army,
So we also got Zach here.
I'm Zach, interview host for MMA Island, also in-house fight analyst. I run Underdog Island and Going Deep MMA.
All right, and there we go. So I think for the first episode, what we're going to mainly be doing is talking about the UFC fight picks. Obviously, we got UFC 250 coming on Saturday. If you're watching this, it's probably tomorrow or either tonight. So we're going to go through our picks, the same order we introduced everybody. Talking about the card, and I gotta get the early prelims up. I'm sure you got the early prelims up there, Atticus.
Yeah, I do, man. I got it on my computer right here.
What you got for the first fight of the night?
All right. So do you guys want me to go like TK, like if I go submission rounds or just like
It's up to you, man.
I like doing that, but we don't have to.
Oh,
it's fun. It's just fun.
So first fight here is Evan Dunham and Herbert Burns. I'm going to go with Burns, definitely on this one. I don't know the outcome. I'm going to play it safe and go with decision. I'm going to go with Burns decision. The second fight is Alonzo Menfield and Devin Clark.
One fight at a time.
We're doing one. All right,
Okay.
I was confused too, Atticus. Don't worry.
Okay, thank you. Okay, all right.
It's a work in progress. Bear with us.
All right. No, it's all right, boys. Yeah, gotcha. All right.
It's always
so,
island time, so we get confused.
Okay, Chris, you're next. Perfect.
So I'm gonna have to pick Burns. I just don't think Evan Dunham's. I feel like his last performances haven't been too good. He's kind of on his way out of the UFC, in my opinion. But I want to also point out, I kind of blame the mom of Gilbert Burns and Herbert Burns, because who names their kids Gilbert and Herbert? Like, to me, that just why would you do that to your kid?
Crazy.
Regardless of the name, I feel like Herbert gets the win.
All right. Well, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to keep the trend going, and I think I got Burns winning this one. Dunham obviously coming back. He hasn't fought in I think since 2018. His last two fights, I think last two fights have ended in TKOs, not in his favor. And this Burns guy, I really got him winning this one, especially with it coming on. This fight was added recently, so I definitely think I'm gonna go with Burns winning this fight. Yeah, I got Burns winning this. I'm not really too much of a picker to go by stoppage and all that, but I do have him winning by stoppage, and I'm honestly probably going to say TKO by either probably ground pound if I had to pick.
All right,
I have similar sentiments as Michael Fry. Sorry, my phone cut out. I have similar sentiments as Mr. Michael Fry there. Evan Dunham hasn't picked up a UFC win since 2016, and his last two fights are not only losses and finishes, but they're both TKOs from knees to the body. So I agree. I think that, I'm not sure exactly how it's gonna end up, but I think that Herbert definitely gets a finish. I definitely feel pretty strongly, and usually I'm wrong, so we're probably all wrong.
I think that's 100% true, because Evan Dunham has had a weakness to body shots for almost his entire career, and he's coming up against a faster guy, a more powerful guy, a guy who's more used to featherweight, so he's going to have more cardio. And on the ground, if it goes there, it's over. Herbert Burns has the advantage everywhere. He should take this one easily.
All right.
And I'm going to say by finish. TKO, second round.
Get my
Word.
camera.
All right, fair enough. Atticus, you still with us there?
Yeah, sorry, man. My AirPods died. My bad. And I was.
No worries, brother.
Yeah,
Moving on to the next fight.
Okay, so we got Alonzo Menfield and Devin Clark. I don't know a ton about these guys, but I'm gonna go with Alonzo. I think I'm gonna go with Alonzo. I don't know by what, but I'm going with Alonzo.
All right. Chris, you there?
I think I would have to
Ooh.
pick a block by. Yeah. You guys hear me? Am I good?
Yeah, you're good now.
Yeah, I
you're
would
good.
have to pick Alonzo by.
He's
good?
frozen.
Okay. I think I would have to pick Alonzo by knockout. I think. Am I good? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
I can hear you. Yeah, your screen's cutting out a
Yeah.
little bit. I can hear you. Yeah.
Man, this poor Wi-Fi connection. And I think I would have to pick Alonzo by knockouts. After seeing his performance on the Contender Series, I believe he has the power to stop Clark.
All right, definitely. Gonna keep the trend going again. I got Alonzo Menfield winning this one. I do believe by stoppage, I'll probably have to go by third round knockout for this one. So I definitely have Alonzo Menfield winning this one.
Yeah, I also I really don't like picking the same thing as everybody else, but I got Alonzo. I like to be contrarian, but I also have Menfield. I think that fight goes to a decision, but if one of them finishes the other, it's going to get a performance bonus because those dudes are going to be swinging leather. I think there's a lot of power to be dealt with in that fight, and if somebody goes to sleep, it's going to be pretty exciting. So I think it's going to go to a decision. I think both of those dudes are just going to stick in there, but if one of them finishes, it'll be a bonus, in my opinion.
If you've seen Alonzo Menfield, he's an absolutely massive light heavyweight, and he can move too, and he has fuck you power. He can put anyone to sleep, and I think that applies to Devin Clark because if you've seen Devin Clark, his calves and legs are just fucking massive, so all he really has to do is takedowns. He can't beat Menfield on the feet, but since Menfield is so big, he won't be able to take him down or hold him there. So I think he's going to get defeated pretty quickly. Menfield's going to knock him out in the first.
Okay. All the same so far. Okay, so I guess I'm next. So the next fight here on the early prelims, that's Jussier Formiga and Alex Perez. Formiga, if I'm not mistaken, the last fight was Brandon Moreno, right? Lost. I'm still gonna go with him on this one. Probably unanimous decision. Yeah.
Ooh, man, that's a good fight. We saw Perez do really excellent against what was his name? It was
Espinoza.
Yeah, it was Espinoza, but also Jose Torres. Man, that fight was ridiculous. He put on an amazing performance. I don't know, man. I feel like Formiga has I feel like he has more experience on him, so I feel like him being the veteran, I feel like Formiga should edge out a decision, but I'm going to be surprised if it's a close fight.
Okay.
Well, this is where we disagree. So I actually got Perez winning this one. This one kind of hits close to home for me because I interviewed Alex Perez. Alex Perez is a guy I've been a fan of for a long time. But going through my statistics that I go through, I think I got Perez winning this one. Perez had a first round submission in his last fight, and I think he actually gets another first round submission in this one. Submitting Formiga in this one. So I definitely got Perez for winning this one.
Wow. Okay.
Bold.
I've got Perez in this fight too, but I don't have a first round submission. I think that they actually have pretty similar records. Both of them have 23 wins on their MMA record, but Alex Perez has 2 less losses. Formiga's 23-7, Perez is 23-5, and there's a 7 or 8 year age difference between them. I think that Alex Perez is really coming into his own, and I think this is a fight of the night contender, and I think Perez is gonna have a pretty I don't know if it's gonna be like a super dominant fight, but I think he clearly wins. But I mean, that's not. I wouldn't be shocked if Formiga wins either. But how I see it is Perez takes it.
So Zach breaks the tie here. It's 2-2.
So if you look at the statistics, what Jussier Formiga does to people is he's not a particularly good striker or anything, but what he does is he brings people down. I looked at these statistics once, and pretty much every fighter he's ever fought has a significant gap between their average strikes landed per minute, and against Formiga, that gap is huge. And if you haven't fought guys like that before, you're going to be in a whole deep water. So if Perez gets his stats shut down, which he will, he's going to have to find a way to adjust. And if he goes to the ground with Formiga, he's going to get subbed because of Formiga's pedigree and BJJ. So I think overall, because of what Formiga does to people, and only the very best can beat him. So that's how you know you have a top flyweight, if you beat Formiga, because you have to solve that puzzle, and that puzzle's really hard to solve. So
that's
overall,
Yeah.
I think Formiga's going to win by unanimous decision.
Ooh, so 3-2. Okay, 3-2 for
Michael, we're holding strong.
Okay, next.
Love you, Alex Perez. Go check out the interview with him.
I'm really excited about this one. Cody Stamann and Brian Kelleher.
Ooh.
Whoa, wait. I think the next fight's Patolo and Bird.
Yeah.
Oh, is it on my screen? Sorry, I'm looking right now and it's showing. Yeah, on my screen. Sorry.
Click down on the more fights.
You're right. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Sorry, guys. Charles Bird and McKee Patillo. I'm not exactly sure to pronounce.
Coconut bombs.
Yeah.
Coconut Gang.
I honestly don't know much about either of these guys. I'm gonna go with Patolo for this one. I guess I'll go with decision to be safe. I don't know too much about these guys. Sorry to say, but that's my pick.
Yeah, I would have to say the same. I don't know too much. I think Maki's got a good hype train. Is this his UFC debut?
No, he got crushed by Callan Potter at 243.
He lost a decision to Callan, the rock star Potter.
Ooh, yeah, that's a tough.
I didn't see it as I don't remember it as a total domination. I remember it was clear though.
I feel like I'm just gonna go with what Atticus said. Obviously I don't know too much about these guys, but I'll go with Patolo.
Honestly, guys, I'm just going off record pretty much here. I don't have a ton to go off of for these two. I'm sorry. I sound like a casual, I'm sure, but I don't know either of these guys too well. So I'm just gonna go with the guy with the better record for this one.
Well, yeah. Like they said, don't know too much. Obviously, we got Coconut Bombs going into this one. Hopefully, he wins me some money because he's a pretty big underdog going into the fight. I think it was a 2.4 multiplier. So I got some money on Coconut Bombs winning this one, and my statistics that I went over told me that Coconut Bombs is going to win this one. So Patolo, I got you winning this one, and I'm going to take it by decision.
3-0. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn on this one. I pick Patolo, but I think that Maki has not faced the level of I think that Charles Bird has faced at least some higher level competitors. He's fought Darren Stewart and Edmund Shabazian in his last two fights. And John Phillips before that.
Yeah.
But he lost by finish both times, and he's getting old. He's 36. I think Maki's 28.
Right. Okay.
I see it for Maki, but this is one of these where I'm not going to be surprised either way. I like Charles Bird. He's a Fortis guy. I root for him, but I like Maki too. So
I'm going to be the lone guy. I got Charles Bird here because Maki Patolo, he depends a lot on his power. And his striking technique is pretty good, but it's not great. And if we've seen from Charles Bird in the past, he likes to take it to the ground, but his technique isn't great. But if you have someone who Edmund Shabazian, who was elbowing his head when he was trying to take him down, but there's a difference between Shabazian and Maki Patolo. I don't know if Maki Patolo can punish some of the lazy takedown attempts that Charles Bird can do.
But Maki's got sub victories. I mean...
Yeah, but against what kind of competition?
I know. I'm just saying, he's got obviously a little bit of BJJ.
Yeah.
I think our first lone wolf of the night is Zach here. Should we get a lone wolf howl for each
I'm jealous.
No, we're not. We'll let Rampage Jackson do that.
It'll be in the edit.
I don't want to wake anyone up in my house.
I just think that he's too wary of Patolo's power, so he's going to take it to the ground and probably just ground out a boring decision, if I'm being real.
All right.
I just envisioned a knee on a takedown. Boom. Over. I just watch. That's gonna come true.
Masvidal, Askren.
I think I want to introduce this one going in because we got a guy who's very big on MMA Island. We've done multiple interviews with him. Brian Kelleher, very big friend of the show.
Yeah.
Brian Kelleher, boom, coming back, making his quick turnaround from the knockout of the undefeated Azure.
I saw that.
Crazy that he's coming in and fighting just after so quick, and a really a big competition in Stamen. So I'll pass it on to Atticus. Make your pick.
I gotta go with Stamen for this one. That record, his wrestling's so. I mean, he's a great wrestler. His striking ain't bad. 18-2 and one, I think, no contest or draw. So that's. I gotta go with Stamen. I think Kelleher's good, but I feel like a lot of times when he faces like more elite guys, he seems to not do as well. So I gotta go with Stamen for this one. Most likely unanimous decision.
So with this fight, I would have to disagree with Atticus. It might be because of my bias, because I've talked to Kelleher multiple times. But I feel like watching his UFC debut against, I feel like it was against Yuri Alcantara.
Yes, I saw
his
that.
Guillotine. Yeah, his guillotines are something else. The way he squeezes, they tap right away. We saw with what was that guy's name? It was another
Ode Osborne
series guy. Yeah, Ode Osborne.
Ode Osborne.
With that guillotine, he sunk that one in. He tapped like almost right away. So with Cody, he relies on his wrestling. I feel like Boom might get that Boom routine in. But if the fight stays on the feet, we saw Brian. I feel like he advanced to another level of striking, knocking a guy out like Hunter Azure, because that was his first loss. So I think Brian Kelleher has gone way better. I feel like he kind of resurrected his career like Jorge Masvidal did last year. So I feel like I have Kelleher on this one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll probably have to go with Atticus on this one. Kelleher, I hope to interview him in the future. I think Brian Kelleher is a beast. I just think Stamen's got the more prominent advantages going into this fight. I also think Stamen is got a fire burning in him right now because, correct me if I'm wrong, his last fight was the draw with Yadong Song.
It was the draw.
Yeah, so I think I got Stamen winning this one. I think he's going to come out there on fire. But I do think it's a very close fight because Kelleher is a beast, and I do think that there's some scary moments for Stamen going into this fight. So I got a very, very close fight, and I got Stamen winning this one by decision.
Okay.
I've got Kelleher by decision or late finish. I think that Stamen is the guy that's going to be in his face till the very end with pressure. He's in top shape. He's a workhorse. I really think that Stamen has a lot to bring to the fight, and I think that he might even be winning the first couple. But I think Brian is really good at getting it done. Brian is really good at finding the spot to be like, this is my moment to finish this fight. So I think, not finish. Like I think if it goes to decision, I think that Brian gets his rhythm in the later rounds and like squeaks out like the second and third round, But I think, I got Kelleher, and I guess I'll go decision, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's a finish.
All right, so 2-2.
You see, I think Brian Kelleher has two things. He has power and an arm-in guillotine. That's pretty much it. His striking technique is almost non-existent. We saw that he was getting lit up by Hunter Azure in the first round of their fight.
Yeah.
Now, about the power, Song Yadong is probably a lot more powerful than Brian Kelleher is, and Cody Stamen ate a lot of those shots. So if Song Yadong can't knock him out, neither can Brian Kelleher. And when I interviewed Cody Stamen, he seemed to know about the guillotine, and he thinks that Kelleher is probably banking on the fact that he's going to try and take him down and get him into a guillotine. So if Stamen already knows that going in and he's going to up the guillotine defense, what chance does Brian Kelleher really have? He's going to use the wrestling, he's going to beat him up on the feet with his superior technique and get a very dominant decision.
Okay.
Just to mention this, and hate to bring up bad stuff, but our condolences from MMA Island obviously go out to Stamen losing his younger brother. Can't imagine that sort of pain. I assume nobody here can as well. So our condolences go out to him, and looking forward to seeing his fight. Hopefully it's a good performance from both fighters.
Absolutely.
All right.
Moving on to the next fight, we got you, Atticus. This is a great story. Actually, first of all, I want to mention this. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about it, Doctor. Sorry to cut you off, but what a story this was. If you follow me on Headline Island, you saw this. Ian Heinisch and Gerald Meerschaert obviously had the fight was canceled because Ian Heinisch's cornermen tested positive for coronavirus.
Yeah.
Wow.
They even announced an opponent that was ready to fight Meerschaert. And it turns out that it was a false positive, and the fight is back on. So Ian Heinisch will be fighting.
I saw something about
Crazy
that.
scenario.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
That's
it's still
nuts.
going on, right? It's still going on, the fight.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Wow.
All right. So I guess I'll kick it off here. I'm gonna go with Ian Heinisch. Gonna go with the decision probably. I mean, I know he lost to Derek Brunson. Can you guys remind me who he fought last? Was it Brunson?
Omari Akhmedov.
Omari Akhmedov, and he won, if I'm not
No.
mistaken.
Nope.
He didn't. Ooh, he didn't win that.
It's on a 2-fight losing streak right now. This is Heinisch.
And Meerschaert, if I'm not mistaken,
Darren Wynn.
Beat win.
Submitted
248. Submission, 3rd round.
he did.
Late. Yeah. I was late. Thanks, Zach.
Yes,
I love buzzer beaters, dude.
This is tough, man, because Meerschaert's won his last one. Heinisch is on a 2-fight. He lost to Akhmedov, eh?
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? A lot of times I pick based off odds, and Heinisch is right now a slight favorite, but from what you guys are telling me, I think I'm gonna go with Gerald Meerschaert by decision.
Okay.
Oh man, that's a tough fight to predict. Because Ian looked good in the Brunson fight because, in the first round he caught him with a head kick, I believe,
Yep.
and he almost knocked Brunson out. I mean, he had the potential to putting Brunson out, but unfortunately he wasn't able to do that. But he showed that he has some excellent balance in his takedown defense,
Yep.
and he showed a lot of things in that fight. Although he lost, and he has some serious power in his hands, and just all of his limbs. I'm not sure how many times Gerald has lost by knockout, but I feel like I'm going to be banking on he got knocked out once.
That's it? Yeah.
Dang. Wow. I don't know
eight
too much
submission losses.
Man, for Gerald, okay. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the Hurricane on this one. But I don't want to be surprised if GM3 wins this fight by saxophone to the head. If he just gets a saxophone and just crushes his face, and I feel like GM3 could get it done.
So 2 people that were in MMA Island interviews as well. So yeah, pointing there at Zach there. So going to this fight, this is a very, very close fight for me personally. I think I'm stuck between 2 fights right now for the closest on the card, and this is one of them I'll mention when we get to the other one. But this fight for me is very, very close. I think I'm gonna have to lean towards Ian Heinisch winning this one. I just think I'm along for the people who come in on a losing streak and have an opponent that is well matched with them, and I do think that Ian Heinisch did a pretty good job against Derek Brunson, as I think Chris mentioned. He was landing shots on Derek Brunson, and I see him going in there and swapping up the game plan a little bit and landing on Meerschaert, and I do see him winning this fight. But I'm definitely gonna have to go by decision. It's a very, very close fight.
All right.
Yeah, I think. Well, first off, when I made my predictions, I didn't know that this fight was back on, so I just went Gerald Meerschaert versus whoever. I got Gerald because I don't know who the fuck it's gonna be. So now that I know it's Heinisch for sure, it's kind of tough. I think this fight is gonna be underwhelming. I think both dudes can bring it. I think both dudes are interesting, but I think for some reason I just think that this fight's gonna be like, I don't know. Like it's gonna be one of the both dudes can be exciting. I just don't see it.
I disagree with both of you. I think this is a very, very good fight. I think both
I think on paper it is. I just think once they get in there, I think Gerald's probably not gonna finish Ian. I think if anyone gets put out, even though Gerald only has 1 knockout, it's knockout loss. Ian could put him out, but I see it going into a decision. I'll take fucking Ian, I guess. I don't care. I don't know.
So, for me, Ian Heinisch doesn't really do anything special inside the cage. His most special aspect is his mental toughness, because if y'all didn't know, he's been in prison in 3 separate countries, including being in Rikers Island. So if you're here, listen to You've Ever Been to Rikers, read that article written by Ian Heinisch. Anyway, Gerald Meerschaert is the most prolific submission artist in UFC middleweight history. You may not know that, and well, I guess he's 1 submission away from doing that, and he is an absolute monster on the ground. And since he has a ton of experience, he's super crafty. Now, Ian Heinisch's biggest strong suit is his wrestling, and like I said, he doesn't really do anything special. He's a carbon copy fighter. He'll stand front, he'll throw jabs, hooks, a bunch of other things, and he'll use his wrestling. But I think that Meerschaert's submissions and his craftiness as such a veteran of the game will get him the win in this one. So I'm calling 2nd round submission, Gerald Meerschaert.
So 3-2.
Dude, the story's crazy. I'm reading it now on his wiki. It's nuts. Y'all should go check it out if you're listening.
You Ever Been to Rikers? Ian Heinisch, look it up.
So I guess is the Caceres Hooper fight? That's the preliminary
Feature prelim.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about this one. But yeah, go ahead, Atticus.
This one for me, I feels like a no-brainer. Chase Hooper. I don't know by what. How many knockouts does Hooper have? Like, what's his? Does he mainly have decision?
Hooper's a very good submission guy.
He got a TKO his last fight, if I remember correctly, against Tamer.
Yeah, at the same point in time, that fight he also controlled him on the ground, and that's also where he did get the knockout.
If I'm not mistaken, guys, Caceres has been submitted a fair amount of times, hasn't he? Like,
he got submitted by Jason Knight a couple of years ago.
Okay, I'm going Chase Hooper submission. Yeah, Hooper submission.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that because I watched the Caceres versus Knight fight live, and you know, Alex he didn't do. Jason Knight just dominated him on the ground. Like he got a body. Yeah, he had a body lock on him, and Alex couldn't get out of it. He didn't have any answer for his submissions and grappling. So, while Alex might have a lot more experience than him, I feel like Hooper will get it done by submission as well.
15-12, man. That record alone, like, that's rough.
Dang, man. This fight, I think, was the one that I had a lot of problems with when it came to picking it.
Really?
Because it's so weird to talk about for me. So the first thing I went through, this was a roller coaster of emotions when I went through picking this fight. First of all, I'm a huge Alex Caceres fan. Hopefully getting an interview set up with him. Alex Caceres, I watched him on The Ultimate Fighter. Bruce Leroy. Big fan of Alex Caceres. And I know looking at his record, you see the fights that he's lost as well. It shows that way. The thing that really does it for me is and listen to me, I might talk for a while on this one. So Hooper's undefeated right now. If you watched his last fight, the thing that really showed me a lot was Hooper was his striking defense wasn't shown in that fight. He was getting shots landed on him. So Hooper was eventually able to get the fight to the ground, and as we said before, he got the TKO victory.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing that went through my mind for this fight is fighting a veteran as Alex Caceres, and if you're getting strikes landed on you, I can't even remember who the guy he fought last, Chase Hooper.
Neither.
So
Daniel Tamer.
Yeah, so Tamer was able to land shots on him. I see, albeit a name in Alex Caceres. I thought he'd be able to land some strikes on him. Going into it again, the thing that and I think it was Slick Diaz who named this, who mentioned this to me, is Chase Hooper's lankiness. He's just able to get those arms in. He's able to get those submissions. He's able to control you on the ground. I think I got Chase Hooper winning this one, staying undefeated, and I think he'll be doing it by submission.
Okay, three submissions so far.
I really, I hope y'all are right. I'm a Caceres fan, but I really like Hooper, of course. He follows me on Twitter, I think, or one of my Instagrams, because I made MMA Meme Lord, and the face was Chess Hooper on a fucking Hooper. It was just funny. It was dumb, but I've liked Hooper for a while, but Caceres, he's one of these guys that I think he's gonna have a striking advantage, and I think it's gonna turn into aesthetically a striker versus a grappler trying to get in on him. And I don't know. Sorry, Chase, because I picked you. Ever since I've known you, I always think you're gonna win. But I just have.
Sorry, Adam.
I have a feeling he's gonna get caught.
Really?
Caceres is gonna catch him.
That was what went through my mind. Like as I was saying before, I saw his striking defense against Tamer, and I was like, this dude needs to get it because there were strikes that Tamer landed on.
He's gonna come out with something.
Tamer was landing shots to the point where Hooper was going like his neck was getting slammed back. So I just looking at that, man, it's scary. And seeing a veteran like Caceres, obviously his record isn't the greatest, but I just see Caceres going out there, and the first thing they went through is Caceres knocking him out, and then obviously I just went through it, and I said the grappler always has the advantage in my mind, so I just see Hooper winning this one. Sorry to cut you off there, but yeah.
So I'm glad y'all didn't mention this, but Alex Caceres is also kind of a submission specialist. He's very, very good on the ground, and I'm also glad none of you mentioned that Tamer actually in the fight with Chase Hooper got him in a pretty deep guillotine choke. And Tamer does not have the submission skills that Alex Caceres has. Now, Alex Caceres' loss on his record are pretty much a lot of submissions, and almost all of those are rear naked chokes. He has a real weakness for rear naked chokes. But I honestly think that Caceres has the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu advantage. I think that because watching Tamer getting able to sink a deep choke on Chase Hooper, and like Tamer's here in BJJ, Caceres is here. If Caceres has Chase Hooper, has his neck, it's over. And I think he does actually have the striking advantage because of all the fights that he's had and all the people he's been in there with. And I think Chase Hooper's just not experienced enough, and it'll be an important fight for him. But I got Caceres here, and I'm going to go by a submission.
Let me add that I was saying that I think Alex Caceres has the advantage on the feet, but I don't think I think Caceres has the advantage on the feet, but I don't think Hooper has the advantage on the ground. I just think it's going to look like grappler v striker because Hooper's going to know that he needs to get Caceres' back, and he's talented at that. He's really talented at getting the back. So a rear naked choke could happen. That'd be crazy.
See, that's one thing that, and I don't want to harp on this for too long. Yeah, I know I do give you your props as well, Zach. I don't want to harp on this for too long. At the same point in time, and you do make a good point, it's in Caceres being a submission specialist. I think 100% Caceres has the advantage in striking. One thing that I really view, because there's different type of grappling, like ground game. There's totally different, so many like different ways as well. Khabib is the type of person to wrap you up and just start beating the crap out of you. Bryce Mitchell is the type of person to just submission attempts. I see Hooper as the type of person to get you in a dominant position and keep you in a dominant position. So I just see Hooper getting him in a dominant position and getting the submission there. So yeah, we're moving to the next one.
So we're going to the
Wineland O'Malley
main card here. Okay, Eddie Wineland, Sean O'Malley. So I think Eddie Wineland, I mean, he's a vet. The guy's been around a long time. He's fought pretty much the best of the best, hasn't he? He's fought a lot of good guys.
He's fought for the belt.
Yeah,
WC vet.
He did, yeah. But I gotta go with Sugar Sean here. I think he's just gonna be too much for. I just don't see. I'm very curious to see what'll happen when Sugar Sean faces like the top goes up to the top 10, but I just can't see Wineland doing too much. I think I'm gonna go Sugar. Guys, remind me, what was Wineland's? Has Wineland got knocked out much? He has got a couple TKO losses, right? Yeah, I'm gonna go Sugar, maybe like second round or something, TKO, I think.
Well, yeah, just to go back on what you said, some people would argue that it is time O'Malley gets a top 10 opponent and facing Wineland. I think people want to see kind of an up in competition. I honestly, when Kelleher called out O'Malley, I was thinking that's a damn good fight to make.
Yeah.
And seeing them fight on the same card, it's kind of like so yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you, Michael. Like that's a story that we've been covering since I was 16, since like I think 4 years, or I think 2 or 3 years ago. I talked with Kelleher, and he wanted that fight. And that was like in 2016.
I remember
2016,
that.
2018.
2017, I think. That.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. But he's been wanting that fight for a very long time, and I feel like that would have been a better fight to make. But Wineland, he's a vet. I feel like it's not the best step up. It's not really a step up in competition
It
for
isn't.
Sean O'Malley, and I feel like Wineland's just going to be stuck in the mud. Like Connor would say. But Sean O'Malley is lanky. He has good head movement, like Israel Adesanya, and his jiu-jitsu's legit now. Like I kind of want to compare him more to Izzy because with Izzy and the Vittori fight, they said that it was a hole in his game, but after that fight, he learned to take down defense. And with O'Malley after Sugumtov, his jiu-jitsu with Tim Welch has gone up a level. I believe he submitted Hector he competed in the jiu-jitsu tournament, so his jiu-jitsu is a lot better.
King Ted Ultra. I don't remember who he subbed, but it was someone impressive.
I think it was Takanori Gomi. I think it was an Asian.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Fireball Kid.
Yeah. So
Gomi?
to submit a guy like that, it just shows how good he is. He went against Hector Lombard. The weight difference is there. So
Lombard's like
I feel like
weight.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I feel like O'Malley, wherever the fight goes, it's his. Honestly, Eddie has more experience, but I feel like O'Malley will. I feel like I have to go with O'Malley's prediction. I believe he thinks it's a round one knockout. I believe. So I think I would have to follow up on O'Malley's prediction.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. So, yeah, and maybe, like we said before, if Kelleher wins and O'Malley wins, maybe we do finally get that matchup because that will definitely be a good matchup to make if those wins happen.
And Kelleher would be top 10 after if he beats Cody, he'll definitely be top 10 and he'll be ranked higher above Sean. So, yeah.
So when I mentioned the close fights, this is actually my close fight. I'm just kidding. It's not my close fight. I got Sean O'Malley dominating Wineland here. I got Sean O'Malley winning this one. I want to go for first round knockout, but I'm going to say second. I'm going to say he wins this by second round knockout.
I've also got Sugar Sean by second round knockout as my official pick, but check it out. I would not be surprised if Eddie Wineland, because Eddie Wineland is the kind of guy.
I'm not surprised, motherfucker.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy to be like, oh, you got a nice little win streak? Oh, you got a nice social media following, bro? And then he just put, like, I could see him being the guy to just randomly fuck up Sugar's streak, fuck up his, like, thing real quick. But I'm officially picking Sean, and I'm hoping it's not a knockout like I predict. I really want him to get a submission. I really want him to show off his jiu-jitsu.
He could.
He's a purple belt.
So I think that could happen because Eddie Wineland's main game plan going into this fight is he's going to rely on his power. He's won his last 3 fights by finishes, by knockouts and TKOs, and so he's going to try and get in close on O'Malley, but getting close on O'Malley is like it's just impossible. He's so lanky. He uses his jabs and his kicks so well. He's just going to keep Wineland on the outside, and I think it's very possible to get him on the ground and get a sub because if you want to negate the power of someone, bring them on the ground. So I think it's either going to be a submission or a decision for O'Malley, but I think I'm just going to go decision.
I think that one thing that's going to be super clear in that fight, like every Sean O'Malley fight, is the speed difference. Mm-hmm. I think that the length paired with sorry to jump back in on the tail end of it, not trying to do that, but
no, it's good.
I think the speed mixed with how long Sean is, I just think it's going to be a really long night for Eddie Wineland. But like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if he's the the fucking guy who's just like, nah, fuck your streak.
The heartbreak over Walt Harris,
and I don't see it happening.
Yeah,
just the heartbreak.
So, I think we're 5 for 5 on this one.
So, and I want to go back to what sorry to touch on it even more, but like I like what Zach said and I like what Chris said in this. Zach said that O'Malley definitely has a speed advantage and uses his kicks and jabs well. I definitely agree with that. And Chris said that he reminds him a lot of Israel Adesanya. And I totally agree with that. I think both of those statements are very, very accurate when it comes to that. And I think I'm kind of looking at this fight as an Israel Adesanya, Robert Whittaker, obviously totally different weight class, totally different fighters. I just think I see Eddie Wineland kind of flying in there and stepping in the pocket. And when he's stepping in the pocket with a sniper, they're gonna take you down. So I'm looking to see O'Malley just pick and choose where the fight goes and pick and choose his shots and pick this dude apart. So
Sean,
like I said, got O'Malley
high
second
level.
knockout.
Let's get to the next thing. Sorry, he's so high level. I think.
Okay.
We got high level.
High level.
High level. You keep saying
There's
that.
levels to this. There's levels.
Oh God, bro, don't get me started on that.
All right, next fight: Neil Magny, Anthony Rocco Martin.
Yeah, that one. So I went back and forth on this one. I remember for the last fight he was fighting Lee Jing. Excuse my pronunciation. Jing Lang. Okay, I was right. I wasn't sure exactly how to pronounce that. I don't know.
Just say the beach. It's good.
I was picking Lee for that one, but Magny impressed me. Like his cardio looked great. His striking didn't look too bad either. Like I think that he was winning this pretty much the whole fight. Anthony Rocco, he definitely impressed me with Maya. He hung in there on the ground with Maya, but honestly, I feel Magny has fought a lot, like more top guys, like probably fought the better opponents. I'm gonna go with Neil. I think this fight's gonna be pretty boring. If I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really excited for it, but I'm gonna go Magny with kind of a mediocre decision win. That nothing exciting, but that's my pick. Yeah, for that one.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you, because I feel like Magny's just. I want to say he's on another level. Anthony, I feel like I don't know, just he hasn't shown much. I feel like this Neil Magny with the high level competition, he did get submitted against guys like RDA, but he's high level. Yeah. I'd have to go with him by decision. Don't see it being a good fight.
I don't either at all. That's a bathroom break kind of fight.
Mm-hmm. well, honestly, I kind of disagree, and I'm never able to pick where fights are boring and all that. I'm never usually good with it, but I think this fight's gonna be pretty good. I think it's I think it's a pretty close fight. I think I agree with what you said, Atticus. I think Neil Magny's fought tougher opponents.
Yeah.
I see Anthony Rocco Martin putting up a fight definitely. I think I can't who was Anthony Rocco Martin's last fight?
I believe in Moscow.
Oh yeah, it was the Volkov Hardy card, right?
Well, Cater and Zabit, but yeah.
Cater Zabit.
Yeah, Cater Zabit and Volkov and Hardy in that one as well.
Oh,
yeah. So that fight, I honestly thought Rocco Martin fight. Again, I've only watched it once. So I just think that step up to fight Neil Magny. Neil Magny goes in, and I think he wins this fight. I think he wins this one by decision, though.
Yeah, 3 for 3 on decision so far.
I think that Neil Magny has fought more tough opponents, but I mean, how much better can you get than having experience like fighting Damian Maya? Like,
right.
Chael Sonnen said it's the strongest dude that he's ever fought.
Yeah, it's Damian Maya. He's also fought Beneil Dariush. Like he's fought some good guys, but I agree that Neil Magny has the experience advantage. Rocco Martin's never been knocked out. I think I agree with that because I think it's going to be just like I said with Heinisch and GM3. Like it could be cool, could be really exciting, but personally, I just don't see it. Yeah, I've got Magny, but I'm not passionate about my pick.
Okay, 4 for 4.
So I think Neil Magny, he's always going to have a cardio advantage in fights because he trains at Elevation Fight Team, which is one of my favorite little camps up there. Curtis Blades, Corey Sandhagen, Alistair Overeem.
Since they train up, it's like training at like +5.
That's right. Corey's there too, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They got some
and he
guys
came.
There.
Well, Neil Magny, after a tough loss to one of the greatest fighters who doesn't fight again, Santiago Ponzinibbio, when we're going to see him again. Me too.
What happened to him?
I don't know. He came back and he fought Li Jingliang, who had a ton of hype behind him because he knocked out Elizzy Zaleski dos Santos.
Yes.
And he went in here and he handled Ling the Leech. It was really surprising.
Yeah.
And you see, the reason why he loses. Neil Magny's an amazing fighter, but to beat him, all you have to do is leg kick him. Neil Magny has a kryptonite when it comes to checking leg kicks. So, but Anthony Rocco Martin really hasn't shown a leg kicking game in the past, and I really think that's his only chance because Neil Magny's long. He's incredibly long. He can punch you from range. He's just going to bully him everywhere it goes, and I think Neil Magny's going to put on another show and get a pretty entertaining decision. I don't think it's going to be boring because his last fights definitely have not been boring.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
I just don't see the matchup being super fire.
Me neither. I'm not excited.
I like their pace. That's what I look at. I think what really makes fights boring, and like I said, I know I said before that I'm not really the best when it comes to picking them. But I think one thing that seems to be a trend for the fights that tend to be boring are the fights where opponents tend to be counter fighters and tend to be fighters that wait for shots. Magny and Rocco Martin, I think, have a pace that match each other. So I'm excited to see how that fight goes. Moving on to the next one, Sandhagen Sterling.
I can't fucking wait for this one. Honestly, guys, this is like my fight of the night pick. I'm really excited for this one. I really would have rather seen this one for the belt, to be honest, for the vacant title.
For sure.
I'm not happy with Aldo, and I'm pissed off. I won't get into that, but I think this one should be for the belt. So I think both these guys have good cardio. Both these guys, pretty decent on the ground. I think that Aljamain's probably a better wrestler, I feel like, but I don't know. Corey's was that fight against Asanzao was really impressive. You know, he was able to scramble really well. I think he got like a really good Kimura attempt and used it as a way to get back to like his feet and get it, standing again. And I think I feel like he's got a little bit of an edge in cardio. I feel like he can, with he fights at Elevation, right? The fight team. I'm gonna go with. I think it's gonna be pretty close, but I'm going Corey Sandhagen by decision.
Yeah, with Corey, man, he's looked so impressive in all of his fights. With John Lineker, he stood with him. Like,
I know
it's hard to say, like, with Lineker, like, a lot of people just try to go to the ground with him. But he stood and he traded with Lineker, and that guy has, hands of stone. But for him to put on an impressive performance against Lineker, it was a close fight. But
he got almost guillotined at the end, didn't he? Didn't he?
Yeah. Blood leaking down his face. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And he has tons of heart. So, and he has great cardio. And Sterling has so much speed, with him. But with Sterling, we saw him get knocked out by
Marlon Rice.
Marlon Moraes. I kind of want to just go. Yeah, I feel like I want to say Corey Sandhagen by flying knee KO in the first round. I just want to. It's a very specific
going there.
Very specific prediction. But I think maybe he'll show his lights out and make him do the dab again.
Knock him out, eh? Dab. Oh,
God.
So you got Sandhagen. So two for Sandhagen so far. I did not expect a knockout. Okay, that'll be. I'm going to say
so. I want. Okay, Slick Diaz. I want you to give your response to that. Let me just make my quick pick here. The close fight I was talking about was this one, the second close fight. I think this fight and my other close fight was Heinrich Mearshart. Mm-hmm. These two fights are ones that I was completely torn on. I'm not going to get into talk about the bantamweight belt. I think a lot of people hate on Petr Yan, and I'm a big Petr Yan fan.
I love him, but.
And I think a lot of people don't like him. People don't think he's proven enough. I just like what I've seen from him. I think it's been enough for me to give him a title shot.
Not Aldo though.
But he beat Faber though. 40 years of age,
I'm sickened by that. Like honestly, I get mad just thinking about that. So
yeah, going back to what I was saying,
Sandhagen though.
Going back to what I was saying, I think this is a fight that even if they did make it a title shot, I would have been fine with it because I do think both of these guys are very, very, very good. And I think I'm going to lean towards Sandhagen, and I think it's crazy to me that you two picked Sandhagen. I thought a lot of people were going to pick Sterling for this fight.
I love Sandhagen, man. I think he's great.
I do think Sandhagen wins this one. I just think Sandhagen takes advantage, and I know it seems weird to say take advantage of someone's speed, but I think anytime Aljamain puts himself in a vulnerable position with his speed and takes a step forward, and takes a strike and misses on it. I think Sandhagen's going to take advantage of that and catch him. But I think Sandhagen is able to counter and put him in dominant positions in parts of the fight. And I got Sandhagen winning this one by a very, very close decision.
Okay, 3 for 3.
I want your response to the flying knee prediction knockout, like Diaz there. Let me know.
That flying knee, he utilizes it in every single fight of his. I feel like, if Sterling just moves his head to the right direction, I feel like Sandhagen can take advantage of that. I feel like nobody's probably going to agree with me by the flying knee KO, but I see it happening.
Dude, I'm with it. Like, I'm with it. But the thing that really struck me about this fight is, like, these dudes are pretty much in the same position in the division. Yeah. Both of them think they're the man. Both of them know they deserve the title shot. And both of them have to make a statement on each other's faces. So I agree with Atticus. I think that this is one of my – I said Perez and Omega could be a fight of the night. I also think this could be a fight of the night. But there's –
yeah, I think so too.
The next one could be too. But the notable thing, even though I think Corey is going to win, I have a decision as well. But, man, it's right down the middle for me. And just the most notable thing for me is Sterling's display of boxing in his last fight.
Yeah, Sterling with Munoz.
Incredible against Pedro Munoz. My jaw was on the floor because he's such a wrestler. He came out, he was stunting on it. Like, it was, I was just so happy to see Sterling show off. Like, not show off, but show out like he did. And it doesn't really have much to do with this next fight besides the fact that he's shown how dynamic he can be at any part of the fight. But I got it by decision, but I really like the flying knockout prediction. But I love you, Alex.
Just to add on
for memes too. I'll still make memes for you if you're still interested in that.
Yeah. Hey,
just
5
to add
seconds.
on quickly.
4 seconds. Let's do it by 4 seconds.
Just to add on quickly to what Slick Diaz was saying about Sterling and Sterling's performance against Pedro Munoz. I think that that's something that was crazy about that fight was his stand-up ability, and I'm not talking about the punches, the velocity, the volume. I'm talking about his ability to cut him off and keep stalking. That is one of the most underrated stand-up aspects that you can ask for. If a person's trying to circle, they get close to the cage, you cut them off. You take away their mobility, bam! What an amazing advantage you have in the stand-up game. So sorry again, pass it on to Zach.
Okay, so as this might surprise people, I'm just gonna say right here, but I'm gonna go with Sterling, even though I interviewed Sandhagen.
Not
but
surprised.
So here's why. Here's why. So Corey Sandhagen relies on his movement and his footwork. It's very reminiscent of what Dominic Cruz does.
Yeah.
He told me himself that he models it a lot on what Dominic Cruz did. So first-hand account, first evidence that you can trust this analysis right here. Anyway, also what I saw from Sterling is he has a really good leg kicking game. And the best way to neutralize someone's movement is to chop the hell out of their legs. Now, if you take away Sandhagen's movement, you're taking away the biggest part of his game. He really relies on being someone who you can't hit. He's everywhere, so he can just be here, volume strike, be there, volume strike, get you on the ground, but he doesn't have an advantage on the ground because Sterling is an amazing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner, training with Matt Serra, and he has great wrestling. I mean, he pulled off an amazing Sulov stretch on Cody Stamann, which is one of the rare submissions in UFC history.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
Him, so I think and who else?
What's that live? What's that fight live?
So
it's crazy.
If it goes to the ground, then I think Sterling actually has an advantage. There'll be a lot of fun scrambles to watch. But the reason I'm picking Sterling is because he also can neutralize, as Michael was saying, he can also cut off movement very well. Now, if Sandhagen's movement is cut off, he can't execute his game plan to the likes that he would want to, and then you can't really think of a new game plan that'll be as effective in the middle of the fight. So I think that this, as close as it is, and I'm so excited for this fight, I'm going to have to go with Aljamain Sterling. I'm very sorry, Corey. I love you. I'm very sorry. I just think Aljamain got this one.
I love it. I'm happy. I hope if the fighters ever see this, they realize that we're big fans of all.
Oh, yeah.
Like I hate having to pick fights like Sterling and Sandhagen because I'm like, no.
So, yeah. just to go back on what you said, Zach, like you were saying how the cutting off ability and taking away their footwork. I think we definitely saw that in Cruz's last fight, as you said, he models his game of Cruz. Cruz is fighting Cejudo. Cejudo did a great job, and I'm not a big Cejudo fan, but Cejudo did a great job of cutting off his movements. And when you have a volume such as Aljamain Sterling, if you're able to cut off the dude's movement and you're able to get that volume going, man, that's what really makes this fight close. Just to cut on one thing, we're really late right now, so I think we're gonna go fight picks, finish up our fight picks, and then I want us to do big prediction for all of us, and then fight of the night pick. Actually, we'll fight of the night pick, and then we'll go big prediction. So moving on to the next fight, Cody Garbrandt makes.
Hot take?
What is it?
Big prediction like hot take?
Yeah, like hot take. Yeah. So yeah, the next fight, the co-main event of the evening. Rafael Assunção and Cody Garbrandt making his return, passing it on Atticus.
I'm really excited about this fight, man. I think so. Assunção's last fight, if I'm not mistaken, guys, was Sandhagen, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a tough one for me.
Over a year ago.
Yeah, both of these guys have been out for a while, for like a hot minute. Both. Well, no, Assunção. When was he fought Corey in the fall? It was
241. Cormier versus Miocic 2.
It was August. I'm
sorry. Summer. Okay, so I was close. And then Garbrandt was March. So that's fucking 15 months ago. Guys, I really feel. I know Chris, at least you were. I don't know if you still are. You're a huge Cody Garbrandt fan. Sure. I think he's extremely overrated. I don't think he fought anyone that great before Dominic Cruz.
Oh, he didn't.
Dominic Cruz.
He really did. I mean, he did.
Thomas Almeida, but that's it.
Even Almeida.
He did give him his first loss though. Yeah, I think he was like 21-0. But then again, that could be against Cairns. So. Yeah.
So it's kind of for me. I never thought Cody Garbrandt was that amazing of a fighter. I thought he got a title shot. I thought he jumped the line. I don't think. Yeah, I mean, he had a great, really, an amazing performance against Dominic Cruz. But then Henry beat his ass twice. Then he lost to Pedro Munoz.
TJ, yeah.
But he had a good first round against TJ, though.
I didn't mean to say Henry. I was
a great first round against TJ.
TJ, but then TJ fucked him up in the second, finished him, and then, the first round.
He just didn't fight like how he fought. He just threw his game plan out the window.
Yeah.
Like we've seen ever since.
In this rematch, he threw his game plan like way out the window. I don't know what he was doing in that one, and then he got knocked out by Pedro Munoz. So for me, I might be the only one here, but I'm gonna go with Assunção, man. I just have no faith in Cody Garbrandt anymore. I just don't see. I never thought he was that amazing of a fighter, and I don't know. I just don't see him winning this one. I think I'm gonna go with Assunção. I think Cody has a really weak chin too. I think the guy, I mean, his chin's not good. It's simple as that. His chin is not good. He can't take shots very well. Assunção knocked out Lopez, right, a while ago.
Yeah.
I could honestly see Assunção like subbing him maybe. I'm gonna go Assunção by a finish. I might be totally wrong, but I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys knew this, but I met Cody Garbrandt before he was champion in I think it was 2015.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, I met him before his fight with
Cruz.
Mizugaki. Yeah.
That was in 2016. That was in 2016.
I met him, so I might be a little bit biased. Of
course.
Yeah. He put like one of the best championship fight performances in UFC history against Dominic Cruz. He looked great in that fight. Like I was saying, he threw out his game plan out the window multiple times, 3 times. Man, I feel like when you mess up that much times, he's messed up 3 times in a row. I feel like with this time off, I feel like he's gonna be like, hey, I can't possibly mess up again, right? I feel like he needs to stick to his game plan. I feel like he'll neutralize his game plan. I feel like Assunção could get knocked out, or I could see Cody maybe cruising to a decision. I'm not sure how with fighters, Cody grew out his beard, so I feel like
Oh yeah.
that could possibly increase his
We
chance.
got a
bigger,
conspiracy
too, like,
theory
he looks-
about beards going on.
He looks heavier too. Like he looked.
That's my hot take.
Yeah.
Beard is a shield.
Yeah, but yeah, I feel like Sun sounds good, but he's been at the top of the division, but he's kind of been a gatekeeper.
Right.
With Marlon and Corey beating him. I don't know, man. I feel like Cody's got this one. I might be a little bit biased, like I said, but I feel like his head movement should be back to normal with that Cruz fight. I feel like his boxing will look better than ever. Maybe that's kind of my hot take.
All right. Cool.
Well, so I think there's a lot of stories leading into this one. I think Cody Garbrandt has a lot of stories not on his side because obviously we mentioned before Cody Garbrandt doesn't have the greatest chin. I think one of the things that really is prominent for me going into this fight, looking at analyzing Cody Garbrandt's game, is the last 3 fights that he's had kind of have ended in the same fashion, with Cody Garbrandt throwing a right and dropping his left and eating that like the right hand. So the same thing happened first TJ Dillashaw fight, second TJ Dillashaw fight, and then he had that brawl with Munoz, and Munoz landed the shot to put him out.
Yeah.
So, man, there's like I said, there's a lot of things going on in this fight, and I think I'm leaning towards the Sun South for this one.
Ooh.
So I'm honestly probably I'm honestly I don't look too much into the outside of the octagon type stuff, but I think looking at this one for me right now, I think I got a Sun South winning this one, and I'm gonna go by 3rd round submission.
Okay.
And Cody Garbrandt gets his first submission loss. I was gonna make that my bold prediction, but I want to save the fight picks out of the bold predictions, and let's make some wacky ones.
But Cody's wrestling, it looks pretty good though. I mean, he was a high school wrestler, I believe. I think that he wrestled out of Ohio, and he took Dominic Cruz down. So
I think Cody should use his offensive wrestling.
I just think Cody's probably focused a lot on his striking, and I think Sun South being a very good submission fighter, I think he'll catch him. I think Cody's worked a lot on his boxing, as you said, and I think he'll look better boxing. But I think Sun South's going to catch him off guard and get him in a quick submission.
But here's the thing, for a guy like Cody, when you have the kind of chin he does, he should try and rely on grappling more because he must know his chin's not good. Like he must know
he can't grapple with a Sun South. He can't.
I'm not even saying a Sun. I'm just saying more in general. For future fights, but I know what you're saying.
I would agree with that. I don't think I agree with Zach. I don't think he can grapple with the Sun South.
Me neither.
But I do think he should lean towards it a little bit more, and honestly touch up a little bit more on his boxing. As Chris said, I think he'll look a lot better boxing than he has his past 3 fights. So moving on to Slick Diaz.
Yeah, I got Cody Garbrandt, round 1 knockout, no damage, performance bonus.
Oh,
all right.
Yeah, I think that a Sun South, like he's coming. Like I think Cody's story is too special because like a lot of people don't know about his past. Like he's got a really interesting story.
Yeah. I've read his book. Yeah, it's crazy stuff, man.
Yeah, I think that a guy like that is too special to just like. I just don't think his career, like, I think he's going to really turn it around. I really do. I just, maybe that's the hopeful in me, but and I'm not even like a gigantic Garbrandt fan, but I like him more and more. And I think this is going to be his night.
Okay. So
I want to start off my segment by 2 fun facts. One, Rafael Sancho has beaten Jorge Masvidal, which some people may not actually know.
Yeah, I knew that.
Wow.
Was it at 45 or 55?
I think it was at 55.
And number 2, when Cody Garbrandt and Demetrius Johnson fought on the same card, Demetrius Johnson was heavier in the cage than Cody Garbrandt is. Cody Garbrandt is a tiny bantamweight. He should drop. Quite small.
He's talked about the move to flyweight.
He should. His chin might be better too.
Well,
his chin might be better too.
He's 3 inches. I mean, he is small, but he's 3 inches bigger than a Sun South.
He has small arms, though. Like, his reach is not long.
When it comes to striking technique, obviously Garbrandt has the advantage. He has amazing technique when he wants to use it, and that's the key, wants to use it. Man's just, when he sees red, and he will swing, leave his chin exposed.
Pedro Munoz fight.
Yeah, Pedro Munoz fight, exactly. And Javier Assunção is a powerful guy. I mean, he's a big bantamweight. But also, if he wants to take it another way, Garbrandt is also very small and doesn't have the best takedown defense, if I remember correctly. I might be wrong. I haven't looked at those statistics in a while. But if he gets Garbrandt on the ground, Garbrandt's a fish out of water. Assunção is very, very proficient in jiu-jitsu. Garbrandt is, he has high school wrestling experience, but if you're a high school wrestler against a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt, it's like you're a grizzly bear going up against a pit bull. You have no chance. Yeah. So I honestly think, though, that Garbrandt is going to march forward. He's going to march forward and see red and swing, and I think he's honestly going to get caught by Assunção. I think he's going to get knocked out in the first round again.
Oof. Wow. Okay. Wow.
Okay. And here we go. We're moving on to the main event of the evening. I think a lot of people are kind of hating on this one being the main event of the evening, of this being such a big number in UFC 250. But let me give my best Bruce Buffer impression. It's time! Here we go. I'm getting hyped, man. I don't even care. It's 4:30 in the morning. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Okay, so
are other people in your house?
Yes. Okay.
All right, so I start. Main event here: Amanda Nunes, Felicia Spencer. You know what? I would have probably said Nunes with an early knockout, but man, that girl Spencer has heart. She's pretty durable. She fought Chris Cyborg, took some pretty fucking good shots, and didn't seem all that phased. Like, I don't even think she got dropped in that fight, did she? Like, she was like...
Amanda Nunes pushed the pace, or no, Chris Cyborg was pushing the pace, but Cyborg or Nunes was landing more shots, so you got a point.
So, like, here's the thing. So, Spencer's got a lot of heart. She's pretty durable. So I went out for her last fight against GDR, Jermaine Durand. I'm like, first round knockout, easily, right? And it didn't happen. Like, so for me, and I feel like Nunes' cardio has improved a lot, but she definitely isn't someone who will look the same in the championship rounds as like the first 2 or 3. Sure. So I feel like Nunes is either going to go out there and finish her immediately, or it's going to end up being a decision. I'm going Nunes regardless. But you know what? After seeing the GDR fight, I think I might actually go Amanda Nunes with a unanimous decision.
Yeah, I feel like with Amanda Nunes, I feel watching Felicia Spencer fight Cyborg, I feel like Spencer's going to hang in there. I feel like I think she's going to make it the full 5 rounds.
Me too. Yeah.
And, she's not going to break down like Raquel Pennington did in the 5th. And so, Spencer's got a lot of heart. She's got some really good jiu-jitsu. I believe she submitted Megan Anderson with the last goal.
She did.
Yeah, the last goal she fought, she got the TKO via ground and pound. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But Amanda Nunes, she had a result to grappling and wrestling with GDR because she didn't want to stand with her. But Amanda Nunes in this fight, she needs to keep the fight standing up, I believe.
Yeah.
Although Nunes does have good jiu-jitsu, she submitted Misha Tate. But I feel like Nunes by decision. I feel like it's closer than most people think. I feel like Spencer could, being the underdog she is. I feel like she might get the victory, maybe by a submission. But I feel like Nunes will get the unanimous decision for sure.
Okay, cool.
Man, this fight.
Do it. Just pick your Canadian, because I am too.
I'm Canadian,
I was going to mention
but I'm
the fellow Canadian.
Yeah.
And Felicia Spencer. Man, this is the thing. MMA math never works out. I think that's something that casuals listen to, but MMA math doesn't work out. Just because Cyborg beat Spencer doesn't mean Spencer loses to Nunes.
No, yeah.
Spencer has a very, very, very good ground game.
Yes.
And this is the thing. When it came to Nunes and Jermaine Durand, that this is a fight that I honestly thought, same as you, Atticus, I thought Amanda Nunes was going to go out there and totally destroy Jermaine Durand.
Yeah, same.
But the thing is that Jermaine Durand was kind of landing shots on Amanda Nunes and showing that she had that striking game.
She's a better striker than Spencer, though, I feel like. So
yeah, definitely. definitely.
Leagues.
But yeah, looking at that fight, but this is the point that I was mentioning, comparing it to Felicia Spencer, is because when Amanda Nunes wasn't getting her way with Germaine de Randamie, she just took her to the ground.
Of course,
But she dominated her. It was a dominant performance.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, no, she definitely dominated her throughout the fight. But when it came to the bad moments in the fight where she couldn't handle the striking, she took her down and took her down. And Germaine de Randamie's takedown defense in that fight was non-existent.
Shit.
So I just kind of look at it, if Amanda Nunes is looking to win this fight, Amanda Nunes has got to do it by striking.
Of course.
She's got to push the fight, because you can't lay on top of Felicia Spencer the same way you did with Germaine de Randamie, because Felicia Spencer is going to take advantage of any grappling exchange she can.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I'm moving towards Nunes winning this fight. I got Nunes winning this fight by decision. I think it's going to be very, very close, a lot closer than people think. I do think Spencer is going to have some moments. I'm not going to say in striking. I'm going to think she's probably going to want to put some clinch, and I do think she maybe gets a takedown here or there. I do think very close fight, but then again, I think I got Nunes by decision for the main event.
So 3 for 3 all decisions so far.
I hope I'm the lone wolf. I think.
No way.
I don't know if I think this.
No way.
I think that Felicia Spencer is going to add another submission victory to her record.
This is why you're never getting
this.
this.
This is number one.
It's going to be Amanda Nunes' first submission loss in the UFC, second submission loss in her career.
No, I don't.
Wait,
think
how
so.
did Kat beat Amanda Nunes? How did
Knockout.
TKO?
And that was via ground and pound, right?
I can't believe that happened, even though it was like 6 years
And
ago.
she also lost to. Let's see, she has another TKO loss too. Hold on.
Okay,
To Alexis Davis.
Oh, yeah, but how long ago was that though, right? Like that
Yeah,
was
that's
like,
true.
That was 9 years ago.
9 years ago,
That's
yeah.
true. She's adapted.
Her
lot.
her last submission loss was 12 years ago.
Yeah.
It's totally unlikely, and I know I'm wrong, but I'm picking Felicia Spencer by fucking heel hook, dude. I don't care.
I'll bet my life that doesn't
By
happen.
toe hold.
But I'd bet my life that it wouldn't be that Spencer doesn't.
I look forward to gathering another soul for myself.
All right,
So-
and to cap it off, we got Zach here making the final pick for the main event of the evening. Zach, who you got here?
So I'm going to go with Amanda Nunes because Felicia Spencer knows that she's going to have to take it to the ground, right?
Mhm.
She cannot hang on the feet with Amanda Nunes, and she won't. She will just go for takedown. But you see, Amanda Nunes has probably the world's best camp behind her at American Top Team, and with all American Top Team's best coaches. And if I know that, then ATT knows that. So I bet that the majority of Nunes' fight camp was working on takedown defense because she knows that, and they know that Amanda Nunes is only in danger on her back. That's it. So if they drill that, and since Amanda Nunes is a very quick learner, seeing how fast she's improved in all these years to where she is now, I just don't see any possible way that Felicia Spencer can win this fight. I know people are giving her a sort of a chance because, she's big, she has good submissions, but so does Amanda Nunes. Amanda Nunes, I just think she's better everywhere, and I think it's either going to be a third-round knockout on the feet, but I also can see a decision happening.
Okay.
All right, and so that's the picks for the fight.
Unbeatable fighters. People have this thing about Amanda Nunes that she's completely unbeatable now.
She's not.
I don't believe in that shit.
She's not, but Felicia Spencer's not the one to do it.
Who is?
I agree.
There's no one.
I don't think there's anyone
Paige
right
Van
now.
Zandt. That's my hot take.
No, it's Amanda
She's not
Nunes,
unbeatable,
dude.
but there's no one right now that can
I
beat her.
don't even
People
think
can-
Valentina, if she moves up, I think it's
Oh,
that
She
fight.
can.
Valentina.
Valentina won the second fight.
I don't
In
think
the
she did.
trilogy, I got
Yes, she did.
Valentina.
Yes, she did.
I didn't think
I will
so.
die on
man.
that hill.
Yeah,
Nah.
I
Was
think Valentina
Rose.
probably won that last
Or
fight.
no,
But
was
at the
Rose.
same point in time, I think if they fight again, I think Nunes wins the fight. I do
At
think they're
135,
kind of. I do think they're kind of nearing the end of their primes. I did want to see a lot more from
Shevchenko?
Nunes.
No,
No,
Shevchenko.
not Valentina.
she's not out of her prime. Come
I
on.
no, definitely not out. Definitely not out. But
She's
I
not
do think
near it
she's
either.
nearing it, and I do think Nunes is a lot closer to nearing the end of her prime.
That is true.
And yeah, man. So that's our picks for the fight. I will make the outro. Chris, you got something to say there?
What about Gabby Garcia, man? Gabby Garcia against Nunez.
She-Hulk.
We just.
Holy shit.
Fuck no.
What about Cejudo?
She would piss so hot.
So
Oh my
who
god,
else
it
would
would
beat him
melt.
with
It would melt the
videos?
cup.
So that was our picks for the fights. Comment and let you guys let us know if you guys agree with it. So moving on, we want to get out of here. I see Slick D is yawning. I've yawned a couple times. It is late, man. We want to get the hell out of here. So let's make our very, very quick. We'll go. What do we say? We go with fight of the nights, or what do we go with? Our bold predictions. What are we going with first?
We can go with fight of the nights because bold predictions is more fun.
Okay, so fight of the nights. We start with Atticus. Who you got for fight of the night?
I'm gonna go Sandhagen Sterling.
All right.
That
any
is a great
why?
fight.
You want to touch on it, or is that what you got?
Sorry, what was that?
You got any reasoning why, or? It's just...
Oh, I just think that's such an exciting matchup. I think both have similarities. I think they're both cardio machines. I think it's just going to be a high-paced fight, and I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be pretty back and forth. I think it's going to be a really good one, man.
All right, moving on to Chris.
Yeah, I would have to agree with Atticus. The scrambles on the ground could be fun. For both of them on this fight, their boxing is definitely going to be something to watch and to keep an eye on. I believe Sandhagen had a fight tonight with Lineker, I believe.
I think he did, yeah.
Yeah, I think he did. And then, Sterling's last fight against Munoz, he showed, his boxing, and it was phenomenal.
I think that was fight of the night.
Beautiful to watch. Yeah, so I feel
Probably.
like, obviously we saw with Izzy and Romero, they put on excellent performances, five nights. And, that fight didn't come into what we thought it would, but I feel like Sterling and Sandhagen, I don't want to, put a jinx on it, but I feel like that's definitely going to be a fight of the night contender.
All right, so moving on to me. I think I got Stamen Kelleher for the fight of the night for this
That's
one.
a good one, too.
Good call.
That's a good one, too, yeah.
I do think that both of these guys are very exciting fighters. I think like Atticus said that they're stamina machines for this one. I think they both like to push the pace, and I do see this fight actually still getting a lot of ground game in this fight as well. I do see this fight going to the ground, and I do see it being a sorry casuals, but a exciting grappling match. But I do see it going to the ground. I do see it being exciting there as well, and I do see there being striking, and I see it getting fight of the night.
Word. Sandhagen Sterling is my pick for fight of the night, but on my pod earlier, and I said it earlier in this recording, I think that there are a few really good contenders. I think that Perez Formiga is going to be super exciting.
Yeah, I like that one.
I really do.
Oh, I
really
really
never
like
exciting.
Perez.
I just think it is. I just think it's going to be exciting. I don't know why, but I also think Kelleher Stamen's a really good pick. But I'm going Sandhagen Sterling.
Nice.
I think I'm going to have to pick Sandhagen Sterling too, because they're two of the most exciting fighters to watch, and they're also incredibly skilled, the both of them. So we're just going to see just minutes, like a long fight of just some beautiful techniques, amazing striking, beautiful scrambles. It's just, I'm so excited for that fight. And
Me too.
When I saw it, I was like, this is fight of the night on any card you could possibly book.
I do see Sandhagen Sterling kind of reminding me a little bit of Ferguson Gaethje and kind of like Usman Covington, where it's a stand-up match where they both kind of match their pace.
Yeah.
And it's a back-and-forth fight like that. So I'm very, very interested in seeing that fight. All right, so moving on to the bold predictions. I hope you guys all have it ready. And I want to start this. We can vote. If someone's bold prediction isn't bold enough, we can do it. And we can make them come on the spot and come up with a better bold prediction. So, Atticus, be ready. Let's go.
All right, really bold. Chris Cyborg hops the cage. RKO out of nowhere on New. I'm kidding.
It sounds a lot like the virtual UFC 249 card I had on my page.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, that thing. Oh my god. Okay, so honestly, it's hard with bold predictions, but
It's fun.
it's tough. I mean, a lot of people, but you guys seem. I like saying that Sunzao knocks out Garbrandt. I feel like that's not
a hot take.
Yeah, is that? I mean, that's kind of my bold. I feel like I feel like he at least he drops him and subs him, or he just knocks him out. Like that's kind of my bold. I'm gonna go with that. Like that's I think I'm gonna go with that. And that might not be super bold to some, but that's gonna be my hot take.
Yeah, I see that being like kind of bold because one, he's like Garbrandt is coming in as the favorite, and Assunção being such a guy who's known for mostly submissions, he does have some knockouts on his resume, but
he does, yeah.
But I do like that take, and I'll accept it. So I mean,
all right, okay, cool.
You guys already know what my hot take is. No, I think I really do think that Corey Sandhagen can hand Sterling another knockout loss. Maybe just like Marlon with Sterling, making him do the dab. I feel like Corey could
the high knee.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna have to take Corey by flying knee, fastest knockout. At 3 seconds maybe. That would be awesome.
That'd be hilarious.
So yeah, kind of trying to steer away from my picks. I think one bold prediction I'm gonna make for this one is and this is kind of not really justified in any way, perhaps anecdotal in a way, but I just kind of think that. And it's weird because I was talking to my sister about the fights, and my sister typically watches the fights with me, but she won't be able to watch this one, and she's like, it sucks that I really wanted to watch this fight with you, and it's weird because I really think that there's going to be a crazy moment in this fight, and I kind of got thinking, and I was like, I kind of got that feeling too. I think that we see a knockout of the year in this card. I don't know what fight.
Really?
But I think we see a knockout of the year in this card.
Well,
Perhaps,
once you said that, my eyes went directly to Anthony Rocco Martin somehow. Anthony Rocco Martin knocking the fuck out of Neil Magny is what's going to be happening tomorrow.
That'd be fucking funny, man.
Bam, I'll do it. Ready? I saw Magny as soon as I looked down at the full card.
That would be hilarious.
It'll be cool to see. I got a knockout of the year coming on this.
What do you guys think's the knockout of the year at the moment? Just
Lee Gillespie.
That was last year.
That was November. That was November, yeah. Yeah, it was
I'm trying to think of.
Yeah, let me think.
That was
one knockouts every. Oh, Kelleher. Kelleher knocking out Azure. That's definitely one of the.
I've seen a
that
bunch
knockout was crazy.
I got
tons that have stuck out in my mind. But
Sean O'Malley's last performance was fire. He lit that dude on fire.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, that was. There hasn't been many that have really stuck out in my mind this year.
Was Kamaru?
Kelleher, it's gotta be Kelleher, man.
Yeah.
Usman and Covington.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was,
what year is it?
December. That was December.
It's December. That's the year.
That one was 2019.
Now I gotta go look at the cards because I can't think of.
Kevin Holland might have it. Kevin Holland might have knockout of the year.
Yeah.
Or no. What are we talking about? It's Ngannou versus Rosenstrike. Come on now.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Well, hold on.
No, come on. He flatlined him in 20 seconds.
Kattar?
No. Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
the elbow.
Oh, on Stevens. Yeah.
I love Kattar, but I give it to Ngannou there.
Yeah, that was a good card.
Oh, Beza over Brown. That was a good knockout.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
Wait, Slick, what's your bold prediction though?
Yeah, bold.
Yeah, I think Felicia Spencer getting the O Canada upset is a pretty big hot take.
Yeah, it is. That's a big one, man. That's really bold. That's bold as fuck, man.
Yeah, all right, fine. Give us the what's it called? Give us the type of submission it is then.
All right.
Boston Crab.
Boston. What'd you say?
The old dig twist. Twist.
I think it will be. I think it's gonna be like a leg lock, like something on the ground with like. But I just think it's gonna be like. I think Nunez is gonna be standing on top of her, and then I think she like rolls and trips her or something, and then she just gets a fucking like knee bar or heel hook or something, like something having to do with the legs. I just don't see her taking her back or neck or anything. I think it's like, she's submitted her, it's over.
Shades of Michael Johnson's last fight.
Oh, that was. I'm not a huge fan of him, but that felt bad. I'm not even gonna lie.
Going in for the takedown and then He got my foot. Bam, heel hook.
He ate
Oh,
that shit
also-
whole, man.
Beneil Dariush over Drakkar Close was low-key a knockout of the year.
Oh, that was
Yeah,
fucking
that
crazy,
was nuts.
That was crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy.
What, talking about Emmett Johnson?
No, he's talking about Dariush and Close.
Oh yeah. The infamous
Johnson,
Joe Rogan, John Anik, Daniel Cormier picture.
That Renaissance
Yeah.
painting.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really from that moment?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it was. Shit. Okay. All
So I
right.
guess
So
it's my turn for
Yeah,
bold
Zach,
prediction. I think it's Caceres subbing Chase Hooper. I think a lot of people are going to disagree with me on that.
yeah, big
but
time, man. No way.
I
in
just,
my opinion.
from what I've seen, I will, when I see you guys in the group chat when it happens, I'm just going to say, I fucking called it. That's it.
I don't see
Hey,
that.
I'll be happy.
I'd bet my life on that one. So instead of betting my life on the other thing,
Well, I hope you want to die.
One more
No,
knockout of the year contender?
Yep.
Blachowicz over Anderson.
Oh, yeah. Anderson just went.
Oh, what?
Oh.
God, I don't understand how Anderson didn't get knocked
And
out by
Shevchenko
Latifi.
over I. Wasn't that this year?
Dude, that was 2019.
How can you not, if you're going to talk about knockouts of the year from last year, how can you not say Masvidal Askren?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
I'm
not
not
going to
trying
be
to
last
talk
year.
about last
It won.
year.
Yeah, no, I know, but that's the knockout. There can't even be.
No,
We're just having
Lee
some
versus
nostalgia over here.
Gillespie
It's
was
cool.
one of the best
I
ones.
can't
So
believe
I think
Gillespie
that was like
lost
maybe
to
second place.
Lee. I can't believe Gillespie lost to Lee, man.
Oh,
Like,
Masvidal
I
definitely.
was not surprised.
I
Right
don't
here,
think
what-
Lee to win that.
I don't think Lee's that great, honestly. Like I don't know. I
Gregor hasn't beat that much people though. That's the
no,
thing.
that's true, but I don't know, man. Kevin
We're kinda
Lee, like
going
after
off
that,
the rails here.
especially after that
Well,
last fight. Yeah,
that-
sorry guys, I just got sidetracked.
And it goes to show for a bunch of interviewers we can definitely talk because we're nearing an hour and 30 minutes here, and
Yeah.
we're hitting 2 hours and 8 minutes total, talking even off the air. So
Yeah.
well, if you guys tune in and watch the whole thing, we all really appreciate it. Go check out our interviews. Really, really fun to talk. We're definitely going to make this a regular thing, talking about the UFC picks, and looking forward to the next episode. And I thank you guys as well for talking and taking the time. So I really
Of course,
appreciate
man,
it.
that's fun.
Yeah.
Let's go to
man.
sleep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have a good
Thanks,
one,
guys. That was a great time. We'll do this again soon.
Absolutely.
Later.
All right, bye, guys.